Hi, my name is Natalie, and this is my first official YouTube video on a makeup look. So I've always been interested in YouTube, and I've always wanted to make YouTube videos, but I always made excuses as to why I wouldn't make these videos. I would tell myself that there's people that are better than me out there. I'm not a professional makeup artist, but you know what, there's always going to be people out there that are better than you. And then I would go on with that I didn't have a camera or any equipment, but I saved up my money, I got a camera, I got some lighting. So yeah, now I really don't have any excuse as to why I can't make a video. But yeah, if you want to know how I got this look, just keep on watching, and so I'm starting off with a bare face. I have nothing on right now. I just washed my face with a cleanser, and I have oily skin, so I go in with a primer, a lotion, anything I can do possible to keep my skin oil free, just because my skin is so oily. So to start off, I'm going to go in with this Oil Control Lotion by MAC, and I usually just take 2 pumps, spread it through my fingers, and I focus it on my T-zone area, and on my chin, and spread out whatever I have left. So after this step, I will take a primer. And today I'm just going to use this Baby Skin Primer by Maybelline Instant Pore Eraser. So I just take a pea size, like that. And I'll dot it on my trouble areas. And spread it evenly. Once I'm done that, I kind of just let it soak in. I give it a couple seconds, probably 30 seconds, a minute. Just gonna put my hair back. If I'm looking off to the side, it's because there's a mirror there. This is harder than it looks. But, so I'm going to start off with my foundation, and lately I've been using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. It says it's demi matte and it's medium coverage, but personally I think it's full matte, full coverage, and I'm in the shade Natural Beige 105. My face is lighter compared to the rest of my body just because I'm always exfoliating and I'm always like protecting my skin from the sun when I do tan. And so this will match the rest of my body. You can kind of see the neck. This light might throw off the color just because it is bright. So I usually just put like that amount onto my hand, and I'll take my Real Technique beauty blender. You can get this at Walmart, it's really cheap. So I'll dip it into the product, and then when I'm once I dip it in, I will pounce it onto my face. And I push the product in. I don't wipe it, I push it in. That way you'll get a longer wear from it. And make sure to always dampen your beauty blender before you use it. It makes the product go on a lot easier, and it won't absorb as much product as it would if you did it with a dry beauty blender. I'm gonna need some more of this, so I just put it on the back of my hand again. And put it onto my face where I haven't reached yet. And like I said, this will match the rest of my body. Make sure to bring it down to the neck because you don't want that kind of like line mask going on with foundation. And it's always better to use a foundation that is too light than too dark, because if it's too light you can go in and warm it up with bronzer, whatever you want, highlight, blush. And I also put it on my eyelids just because I have discoloration, and it conceals that. So now that I have my foundation evenly on my face, you can always build on the foundation. You can always add like a second layer, but like I'm good with this. And I do have some red marks on my face. I just finished with exams and I broke out due to stress, and my issue is I pick at them. I don't recommend that at all. So I'm just gonna grab this green concealer right here, which cancels out redness. So I'm just gonna kind of dip it in and go over the red marks. And you don't need too much of it. This is actually pretty good. This is by Quo. I think it's around $18, $16. And I'll just go on my forehead as well. That way I can use it as a highlight and take the leftover product and go around my nose. And then I'll just let that sit for a minute. And I'm gonna start with concealing my dark circles. So I'm just gonna go in with this NYX Dark Circle concealer. And it is pigmented, it's like an orange shade. And I got it for medium skin tone. Although you do want the under eye area, under your skin, under your eyes to be brighter, I just go in with this first because I do have a lot of discoloration and there's nothing I can do about it. It is hereditary. So I just go in with that. And you just want to cover it in the dark circle area. You don't want to bring it down because we're just focusing on the dark circles. So once I apply that, I go in with my beauty blender, and you want to push the product in. You don't want to wipe it, because when you wipe it, you're wiping it away. And this will give you longer wear. And now I'm going to go in with my beauty blender and just press the product into my face again. And I don't fully blend it in. I kind of just leave it like that. And I'll go over it with concealer. And I'm just going to take my Instant Age Rewind Eraser Dark Circles by Maybelline. I love this. You just twist it up. And I don't bring it all the way to my lash line, just because that will cause more creasing. And I bring it into a triangular shape. And today I'm going to bring it up a little bit higher just because we're focusing on skin. And I always get a lot of questions on like what products I use. And this is just what I do. You don't have to do this. I go on my eyelids too because of discoloration, and I just want to conceal that. People always think I'm wearing eyeshadow when I have no makeup on, but no, it's just the way my eyelids look. So I'm just pressing it in with my beauty blender. And for this step, you want to look up to prevent any creasing. So now that I have my foundation on, my concealers, I'm just going to go in with my MAC Studio Fix powder, and this is in the shade NC35. And I'm just going to take my Real Technique brush, the buffing brush, and I'm going to press the powder into my skin. And just setting your foundation with a powder makes it a lot easier to apply blush, bronzer, and contour. So once I'm done that, I will go in with my Vichy setting powder, and I'll just use a little like triangular sponge as so, and I'll dip the sponge into the product, and I'm just going to set it underneath my eyes. And this little technique right here is called baking. And it just makes the concealer last longer throughout the day and prevents creasing. So I'm just going to let that sit. And I'm going to go in with my Shade and Light palette, and I'm going to start contouring. I'm just going to take my MAC angled brush, 163, I believe. I don't know, I use it so much I can barely read the number. And I'm just going to use the shade Shadow Play and Subconscious, and I'm just going to kind of mix the two right here. And I'm going to tap off the excess. And for contouring, you want to go in the hollows of your cheeks. So you can easily do find your hollows of your cheeks by sucking in, as so. And right there you can kind of see, like, it goes right there for me. So I have the product on my brush, and I'm going to start contouring. And you want to apply it in the hollows, not above, because then it's just going to look like you're wearing a lot of bronzer, blush, and whatsoever. But actually, before I do that, I'm going to go in with my blush. And I find it's just easier to apply your blush first and then contour. Kind of like blends it out a lot easier, and it just looks better, in my opinion. I find it gets blended out a lot better. So I'm just using my MAC blush, and it's in Peaches, the shade Peaches. I'm just using this color for a bronzy, glowy look. So back to contouring, mixing the two colors, tapping off the excess, and then hollows of the cheeks. And you don't need a lot of product, because then it's going to look too harsh. And using a powder to contour is a lot easier than a cream. It blends out a lot easier, especially for people who are just starting to contour. And you don't have to use a contour palette. You can also always buy a compact powder in a darker shade, and you can use that to contour. As long as it's matte and doesn't have any shimmer, you're fine. And I'm just dragging it along my nose. I don't contour my nose or anything like that. Temples of my forehead. A little down my chin. Jawline. And that's it. But I find sometimes one side of my contour looks a lot more sharp along the edges. So I find my left side looks a little bit more sharp, so I'm just going to go back in with my Vichy powder, and I'm going to dip the sponge in the powder again, and I'm just going to clean up my contour so it has like a more defined line. You don't have to do this. This is just something I do. So I'm going to apply it below the contour. And I bring it up to my mouth so it has more of a, I bring it up to my mouth in a more curved line instead of just straight, just so it looks a little bit more natural. And I'm doing the same for the other side. And we're just going to let that bake for a little bit, maybe 30 seconds or so. I don't leave it too long just because I find it's too light for my skin tone. So I'm going to take my MAC 188 brush and I'm just going to dust away the excess powder. For darker skin tones, it's better to use a banana shade powder, loose powder. And now you can see the line is more defined. So once that's done, that's when I start highlighting, and I'm just going to use MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Global Glow. And I can't find my fan brush, so I'm just going to take this MAC Mini 168 contour brush, and I'm just going to kind of dip my brush into the product like that. And when highlighting, you want to apply it on the top of your cheekbones, tip of the nose, top of the lip, underneath. That way it kind of like brings it forward, and then adding it on top of the lips, it'll make your lips look more plump. So when I apply my highlighter, I kind of bring it up to the brow. That way, so like when you turn your head, it catches the light a lot more. And I'm just bringing it up along the temples. And even kind of pressing it into the face, it just shows up a lot more. And I'm just going to do my nose, top of my lip, underneath, and then whatever I have left, just all over my face. And just like that. And that's it for my foundation, highlight, contour, concealer. I just filled in my eyebrows, put some lashes on, and I'm wearing Viva Glam 2 by Rihanna. There's going to be plenty more videos, and this is just my first video, so it will get a lot better in time. It's a lot harder than it looks, and honestly, YouTube like gurus, like beauties, they make it look so easy, but it's a lot harder than it actually is. Like, I kind of struggled with my first video that I just made, but it's gonna get better. And thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more videos in the near future. Thank you. Bye.